Hello, Lloyd Bannings with the Special Support Section speaking. Hey, Lloyd. Having fun toughing it out in the rain. Oh, hi, Fran. What's up? Do we have an urgent request? Well, sort of. You remember Mayor Bixen from Mines, right? Yeah, of course. Has something happened over there? Yep, he reported that they're having monster trouble inside one of the mines again. More specifically, it's in the old deserted one, just outside of town. Monsters in a deserted mine? Is that really all that strange? No, and none of the miners have been attacked or anything like that. But the mayor said that something unusual is happening inside the tunnels. He'd like it if the SSS could come and investigate as a precaution. Something unusual? I wonder what it could be. Okay. We're done with every other urgent request we had on our plate, so we'll get to mines as soon as possible. Sounds good. Oh, and one more thing. You also received a support request for a wanted monster on the Mines Mountain Path. You should deal with that while on your way to the village if you can. Got it. It also sounds like the weather is nice and clear to the northwest of the city, so it shouldn't be raining on the mountain path. Feel free to drive your car there if you want. Oh, really? Good to know. Thanks, Fran. Contact us again if something new comes up. You betcha. Talk to you guys later. What did Fran need from us? Has something happened near mines? Yeah, the mayor contacted the CPD about something unusual happening in one of their old mines. We're done with our support requests inside the city, so let's make our way over once we're ready. Oh, and the weather is apparently clear in that direction. We can take the car if we want. Aye, aye, leader. Let's swing by the back entrance of the SSS building if we end up going to mines by car. A new wanted monster support request has been added to the detective notebook and SSS terminal. Okay. But first, is that guy here? Oh, he is. Yeah. I see. That's certainly an interesting way to put it. Oh, hello, Lloyd, my boy. Your timing couldn't be better. This is Nielsen, the man I told you about earlier. So you're the international journalist then. Nice to meet you. I'm Lloyd Bannings, the CPD's Special Support Section. Ah, so this is the SSS. And if you're Lloyd, that would make you its leader, right? You have a very clean, crisp voice, if you don't mind me saying. Oh, pardon my asking, but would you happen to be blind? That's correct. I lost my vision in an accident many years ago. That would be why his eyes were shut. There you are, Director. Your break has been over for ages. The front desk misses you, you know. Whoopsie daisy, seems I got a bit too wrapped up in our conversation. You'll have to excuse me, duty calls, as they say. Of course. Why don't we catch up and exchange notes again sometime soon? Sure thing, drop by whenever you like. Looks like you're up, Lloyd. Take care. Oh, sure. What did he mean by, please allow me to introduce myself again. I'm Nielsen, a freelance journalist. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Same here, nice to meet you. Nielsen, where have I heard that name before? Truth be told, I've been greatly looking forward to meeting the Special Support Section. It's an honor. I'll be frank. I'd like to submit a support request of sorts, okay? Would you be willing to hear me out? I'm happy we came and talked to Cecile's dad today then, for him to tell us about this. Sure, how can we help? The thing is, I'm currently conducting an investigation into the cult incident from this past spring. However, there are still several elements of that case that remain unclear to me. So, who better to consult than the team that played a pivotal role in resolving that very crisis? You want to interview us about the cult incident? It sounds like you already know a thing or two about it. What should we do, Lloyd? Given the sensitive nature of the topic, we have to be very careful about what we reveal. You're right. But on the other hand, going through with this interview might help refresh our minds on what actually happened. I'll cooperate. Well, if you insist, all right, we'll agree to an interview. However, say no more. I know there are things that one in your position shouldn't reveal. You are free to decline as many questions as you wish. I also think it would be best to consider anything we discuss today as strictly off the record. Got it. Thanks for understanding. One thing though, where should we hold it? I think doing it here could cause a problem. In that case, how about the seating area upstairs? It's relatively secluded and we'll know if anyone is nearby. I think it's the perfect spot. Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's head on over. Quest Inside Scoop, the cult incident started. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. First, let us begin by laying out the context behind the incident. It began with the D therefore G cult, whose creed called for rejecting Idios in favor of worshipping devils. Over 10 years ago, they committed a series of child abductions all over the continent. I would like to review the manner in which those kidnappings were resolved 6 years ago. At the time, a large-scale operation was conducted to expose and exterminate the cult's lodges across the continents. Can you tell me the forces responsible for carrying out that operation? Yes, it was... Oh, I have to actually answer these things. National militaries and police forces. And Bracer Guild branches. I believe it was both. I believe it was both because Joshua and Estelle's father was there. Arios was not a bracer at the time, I believe. So he would have still been a police force, and obviously our brother is with the police. I'm gonna say both. A joint effort between multiple national militaries, police forces, and Bracer Guild branches, right? Correct. Due to the scale of the abductions, an international task force was assembled to carry out the investigation. Precisely. And leading that task force as its commander was Cassius Bright, yes, of the Bracer Guild, who... May I interrupt for a moment? When you say Cassius Bright, you mean the Brigadier General Bright, commander of the Royal Liberlian Army? Precisely. He retired from active duty and spent around 10 years as a bracer. I did not know that. I only knew he was a bracer. This is another reason why I should play the Sky games. He only rejoined the army 2 years ago. You rejoined the army? Okay. That's quite the career trajectory. Spoilers, I guess. Maybe so. But there's something else that caught my attention. The name Brights. I didn't consider it until now, but could there be any relation? Yeah, I confirmed it while reviewing documents during my training with the 1st Division. Cassius Bright is Estelle Bright's father, and Joshua's his adopted son. I knew it. That's some coincidence. I thought there was something special about her during our little foot race. Little did I know she was born to fame. So you know the daughter of Brigadier General Bright, do you? I'm well acquainted with her exploits through my work, but personally, not so much. It's kind of a long story, but we got to know her a little bit earlier this year. That's neither here nor there, though. My apologies for getting us off topic. Please continue. Very well, then. 6 years ago, the suppression operation was carried out under the command of Cassius Bright of the Bracer Guild. Their operation was believed to have wiped out as much as 90% of the cult's influence. Among the participants was a certain promising squad from the Crossbell Police Department led by Sergei Liu. the name Sergei Liu, who serves as section chief of the SSS today. He and his 2 subordinates carried the flag of the CPD for that operation. Said subordinates would be none other than Arios McLean and Guy Bannings, the older brother of Lloyd Bannings. Looks like you've done your homework. You even know the connection between me and Guy. Even among the police, there are only a select few who have this much information. Really? Really? Is Bannings that common of a last name? When you've done this for as long as I have, and your connection to Cecile, his fiance, like, I'm still stuck on this. Like, really? No one uses their brain, even though they're detectives? Okay, moving on. When you've done this for as long as I have, you develop a reliable network of sources. Apparently better than that of the police. Guy Bannings himself used to be one of them, in fact. He was. Yes, Guy lent me his aid time and time again prior to his passing. But I digress. There was also another Crossbellan who played a role in the cult investigation. That would be Ian Grimwood, a lawyer and civilian advisor. Even then, Mr. Grimwood was well known and respected for his expertise on civil rights. I'm told he even contributed to gathering intelligence on the abductees. I do recall him telling us about how he assisted with the investigation, so that's the role he played. I've also heard that both the church and a mysterious organization made covert interventions down the line. Yes, the society. Because of them, whatever influence the cult retained after the suppression quickly vanished. The church. Is that what Father Kevin was referring to back at the Altair Lodge? And the mysterious organization is likely that society we learned about. This feels less like an interview and him more just giving us a lecture on history. Both of them sure like to remain on the sly, don't they? Nevertheless, the cult's activities should have concluded years ago. And yet, several months ago, it became evident that remnants of the cult were still alive and well. I know you're all too aware of who I'm referring to. Of course, Joachim Gwenter, one of their surviving members, finally crawled out of the woodwork. Precisely. He clearly had knowledge of the cult's inner workings well before the incident. In the end, however, did Joachim Gwenter serve as their leader? No. He said they were all equal, didn't he? I think he was a high priest. Because I'm pretty sure his title was High Priest Joachim Gwenter. I'm gonna say he was a high priest. I don't actually know. No, he wasn't. He was a high priest within the cult. That's right. He said as much himself. Yeah, but he also seemed to have a knack for research. It sounded like he supervised a bunch of experiments. I think that's what led to his familiarity with the cult's inner workings. Reasonable theory. It was that position which allowed him to advance his research through the rituals they conducted around the continent. And after he successfully evaded the suppression operation 6 years ago, he went into hiding. Upon learning of former Speaker Hartman's weakness for a facility called Paradise, he was able to take refuge in Crossbell. Finally, he perfected a drug bearing the name of True Wisdom, Gnosis. I'm unclear on the specifics, but my understanding is that he produced it to fulfill the cult's ambitions. That's right, the cult's ambitions. He said their goal was to make Kia into the true god. Yeah, he also claimed he could perceive things while under the influence of red gnosis. But in the end, we didn't get an opportunity to question him for all the details. As always, there are unanswered questions. But I do believe we've outlined most of the particulars behind this incident. So now I'd like to finish by reflecting on the D therefore G's cult's origins. Would that be all right with you? Oh dear. The cult's origins? Yes, would you happen to know how long the cult dates back? It's at least 500 years? But I feel like it was older. Crap. Kia is 500 years old, but surely the cult existed before Kia. So I'm gonna say 1200. It's either 1200 or 500. It's definitely not 50. I'm saying 1200. Nope. The cult traces back over 500 years ago to Crossbell's Middle Ages. Okay, it was 500. Which doesn't make sense to me, personally. If Kia is over 500 years old and the cult couldn't have come into existence at the same time as Kia. That does not make sense. He told us that powerful alchemists used to roam this land 500 years ago. According to him, the cult had been making use of their technology ever since. Though, of course, anything about their history prior to that is pretty unclear. I see. To think Joachim Gwenter would willingly reveal so much. Yes, alchemists once lived in these lands, the very same ones who built Stargazer's Tower. It's amazing to think that their knowledge, which before was merely legend, would be corroborated in such a sinister way. Although I guess they did say that the cult took over other people's places. So like certain areas existed before the cult roosted themselves there. Certainly surprising. Yes, and on that note, do you suppose this means that the little girl all of you took in is also over 500 years old? Just how much do you know about the incident? My apologies, that remark was uncouth of me. It was merely a ludicrous notion that I arrived at by combining our respective pools of information. I swear by the goddess that I wouldn't print such a thing, so please be at ease. Right. And with that, I believe our interview has come to an end. Thank you very much for your cooperation today. This whole experience was very enlightening indeed. Not at all, it was helpful for us as well. I believe it's time for me to be heading to my next appointments. If you'll excuse me then. Perhaps we can do this again in the future, should the opportunity arise. I'm kind of shocked he didn't get a character portrait. Also, he's got to be like a martial artist of some kind to be able to accurately tell where everything is. He's got some kind of like daredevil nonsense going on. For a blind man, he sure walks with a spring in his step. There's really something about him, isn't there? Yeah, he's full of surprises in more ways than one. But he did give his word about Kia, so let's hope we can trust him. Right. What's up, Ellie? It finally hit me. Why, his name sounded familiar. That man just now was Marcel Nielsen. He's a Crossbell journalist who won the Pulitzer Prize about 10 years ago. Wow, even I've heard of the Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, it's an international award given to the most outstanding journalist each year. That explains how he was so insightful. Wait, if he's from Crossbell, does that mean... Yes, he once worked as a correspondent for the Crossbell News Service. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for his coverage of a war, the very same one that robbed him of his vision. Since then, he's continued covering news all over the continent as a freelancer for several publications. Mr. Nielsen is distinguished among even the best journalists. He's that talented. Really now. Who would have guessed we were being interviewed by a celebrity? Marcel Nielsen. We should speak with him again sometime if we get the chance. Another person I have to keep up with. Inside scoop, the cult incident completed. I should have just gone with 500 years. It just didn't make sense logically for the cult and Kia to have come into existence at the same time. You would think they would have to exist for a while before either finding or birthing Kia. I feel like you can't just be like, I'm starting a cult. I'm gonna use alchemy to make somehow a 500-year-old child. Is there anything new in here? What you got? This is the Mayor Bixen thing. Okay. This is still the thing that I missed. Yeah. I wonder if the kids he's talking about is the High Bloods. Okay, let's go back to the SSS building. I want to see if there's anything else. Okay, it's just this one. Dangerous monster, neon abyss worm. No! No! Has been sighted on Mine's Mountain Path. We ask the special support section. Deal with this threat swiftly. Why do you hate me? I don't want to fight the abyss worm. No. Okay. With that said, though, I think I'm going to call it quits here. Because I feel like anything else we do right now is going to take a really long time. What's today? Tuesday? Today Tuesday? Yes, today's Tuesday. Oh, Genshin updates tonight. Great. We'll be back with more of this game on Saturday. But that's going to be it for the night. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for keeping me company. Bye.